Hey everyone, welcome back to another This Week in Tarkov, a show where we cover everything that happened in Tarkov this last week, just like it sounds. What a week it was. We got some lore updates from our favorite redheaded scav, Rigi, potentially one of the biggest changes to the economy since the found and raid flea market system, changes to the flea market fee calculation, as well as discounts from the traders that goes along with it, a little bit more lore. And let's talk about that trader discount first. We got a letter from essentially all the traders combined. It wasn't from any one person, it doesn't look like. But it's basically saying thank you to all the PMCs for getting them out of trouble with the Lightkeeper so they could do business. And in return, as a thank you, they're going to make everything cheaper. So what we got was a 30% reduction on all of our traders. You can see it by their little thing when you click on the trader. It says negative 30%. But this cuts both ways. Keep that in mind. So not only is stuff 30% cheaper, they pay 30% less for anything you would sell them. Now, this has affected tons of things that their price was essentially floated by the trader prices. So things like military tech. So we got the military gyro here. You can see where it just fell through the floor. Bitcoin, obviously, it's way cheaper, not just because Bitcoin's down in general, but because they're also traders are paying less for them. Now, this is showing 180. You're not actually getting paid 180. It's like 120. So this is the fixed thing before the trader discount. But then again, on condensed milk, you can see it plain as day too, because we always picked up condensed milk because you could sell it for like 15.5, whatever it is. And now it sells for something just over 11 or almost 12,000 to therapists. And that's all you get for condensed milk. And that's all because of the discount. Now, for the econ nerds like me that just love this stuff, it's given a great way to look at what items are prices are pretty much fixed by what the traders pay for them versus which ones are affected by barters versus which ones are affected by crafts or both. So I'm super interested in that, super cool, but I guess I digress. You might not be. But with this, the letter, we also got 2 more labs key cards added to the game, 2 more barters. Both of them are on therapist. One of them is a Sanitar bag, and then 2 grizzlies, which for some reason it won't let me scroll down on it, but that's what it is. It's 2 grizzlies. And then the other one is 7 slickers and 2 Oleonka chocolate bars to get a labs card. Now, this has in turn caused slickers to skyrocket. If you've been wondering why slickers trade for more than gold coins or sometimes even GP coins, this is why people are buying them up for their labs cards. And the same thing goes with the chocolate bars. The chocolate bars are up quite a bit too, which this has in turn made sugar more expensive. And with sugar being more expensive, everything gets more expensive because it goes to pile meds, it goes to meds, it goes to all sorts of stuff that raises the price. It's kind of like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, 6 or 7, whatever it is. This is the 6 degrees of sugar in Tarkov.
Advised, however, there are 2 more mother humpers.
Everything connects back to sugar somehow through various different crafts, barters, different things like that. Almost everything revolves around that. Now, along with this little bit of lore, we got to explain the trader discount. We also got a video recorded by, again, our favorite redheaded scav, Rigi. And I have the translation for the video. I'll read it out. We're not going to play the video. I guess we could play it in the background, but not have the audio on because it'd be confusing. I'll put a link in the description if you want to go look at it for yourself. If you can speak Russian or you just want to see him walking through the woods, feel free to help yourself. But here is the translation real quick. So I'm recording a video for Chepshuli. I can never say that right. In a case I won't come back or to let you know I'm alive. I unlocked 1 mobile phone, stole it from the raiders the day they got me. And there, long story short, a lot of information, SMS, notes, contacts, things like this. And I think it would be important for the rogues to take a look at this. And I think they will pay me good money for that. I didn't sign up for this and risk my ass for nothing. Well, if I won't contact you within the next 48 hours, you should publish this video on all channels, everywhere you can. I'm explaining for you that 48 hours is 2 days just in case. Well, and you can give my stuff and everything that is inside that case with stickers to therapist. Let her hand over to whoever needs it. Yeah, and about my favorite mug, screw it. Give it to her as well. That's it. I'm going in. Wish me good luck. So our protagonist and our ongoing story is still right in the middle of the shitstorm of everything that's going on. Somehow, while he was tied up, he managed to steal a cell phone from the raiders, which is interesting. Kind of a heck of a thief there. But this is the one that the rogues were looking for, which is why they were supposedly on customs and woods and shoreline. It has valuable info on it, which is pretty obvious because the rogues probably wouldn't want it if it didn't. He thinks he can sell it to them because they want it. And then he's giving away his stuff, or he's having his buddy give away his stuff, including his favorite mug, which is usually not a good sign. So we'll have to see where our boy goes after this. But next, we'll talk about the huge changes surrounding RMT. If you know what that is, it's real money trading. It's basically what anybody who cheats in the game uses to make money. It's the primary driver of it. BSG introduced a thing that they're referring to as the anti-RMT and boosting mechanic. Long story short, you can no longer throw non-found in raid stuff out while you're in raid. So you can't bring in Bitcoins or SIC cases or docs cases or keys or stuff like that and throw it out for your buddies. There is a list of exemptions of this stuff. You know, for example, armor, weapons, gear, meds, most meds, there's a couple of restrictions there, and food, and like 25,000 rubles. You can still throw that stuff out. The list is huge. If you want to go see it, go look at our last video we did, the Today in Tarkov we did on Wednesday. I'll put a link down in the description for it. Go check that out. We go into greater detail so you don't throw anything away on accident. Now, it goes without saying that this is a pretty controversial change, but BSG and Nikita are sticking with it. Nikita's even gone so far to tweet on Twitter that they're getting good results from it. They've reduced cheater activity, and they've seen a drastic reduction in the amount of RMT going on. I've been doing a ton of research on this whole realm of hacking, cheating, RMT, making money, doing shady shit in the game stuff. I had to take a couple showers after doing it, but I learned a lot. We're going to do a video for you and explain and try to get everybody kind of up to speed on how this whole world works, what it's about, and kind of dispel some of the myths that some of the folks have, leading to some kind of bad assumptions, I think, or opinions that people are coming up with about this whole RMT change. Now, I'm very likely just going to be being accused of being a shill for BSG or whatever, because I did this, but facts have a funny way of making people's heads implode, and that's what I'll bring you. I'm not going to try to change your mind on whether you like the RMT change or not. I'm simply going to try to explain why it should work, why it looks like it's working from BSG, and then you can make your own assessment from there on whether it was the right choice. But moving on, what we have next is talking about the flea market fee and the changes there surrounding that. And arguably, I think these are 10 times bigger when it comes to how much it impacts the player base than the RMT stuff was. Now, I think this is temporary. I believe it is. I hope it is too. This should be a temporary change. But what BSG did is they changed a variable in the formula that's used to calculate the flea market fee. It's this TR number. They changed it from 0.05 to 0.19. Now, because this equation isn't just a simple equation, it's a logarithmic equation, this change doesn't just increase the flea market fee by 3.8 times. It's not that simple. Layman's terms, the way the flea market fee works is the further away you get from the base price of the item, whatever the trader pays for it, like the more expensive, the bigger gap there is from what you listed is and what the trader pays for it, the higher your flea market fee percentage is. And they've basically just steepened that curve with the logarithmic equation. Now, this flea market fee thing has a couple of things going on with it. Pretty sure this is around the RMT stuff as well. It's not just done in the fly of the night. They did this because pretty much with RMTers not being able to throw stuff out in raid anymore, that's how they did it. People would buy like a red key card or rubles or whatever, and somebody would throw that out for them, or the equal price of that, whatever it may be. And that's how the real money was traded, dollars, actual IRL in real life dollars for an item. With that being impossible now, there was everybody just assumed they were going to shift to the flea market, which is a good assumption to make. That's what they would have done. So I think this is BSG's way of preventing that from happening, because if you do any large scale transactions, you're actually going to lose money. You're going to spend more rubles trying to get rubles than do anything else. But there is an interesting bug going on right now, and I was drawn on whether I was going to bring this up in the video or not. Part of it being this late in the video means a lot of people aren't going to see it because they don't watch all the way through, but also I want to be honest with you guys. I don't like hiding stuff. This stuff's kind of out there. I wasn't even the first one to do it. Shout out to the guys in my Discord who pointed it out to me. We've brought it up to BSG through bug reports so that hopefully it gets fixed quickly, but right now the flea market fee is not taking out what it says, and I can show you that here really quickly. Well, I'll try to do it really quickly anyways. We got a LUTX, right? I got this yesterday, and you can see they're not selling for a whole lot, but that's fine. Not super worried about it. We're going to sell this for 695,000 rubles, just because that's where it's at. It doesn't have to sell to show this. As you can see, it wants to take 106,868 out. So we'll just say 107,000. It's going to take 107,000 to list this. You look here, we have 9,152,787. So that means we should have roughly about 9,045,000 rubles when I list this, right? Yeah, well, that's not so much how it works. As you can see there, it only took about 40,000, 42,000 out. The math works the same as the way the old flea market fee. So what looks like happened is that the update just made it to where the fee calculation on the window, on this offer window, is calculated based on the new numbers, but the money that's taken out is using the old equation or something. Don't know how that coding works, but that's how it is right now. Things are not, you're not getting ripped off. You're not losing money. I don't know how long this is going to last, though. Again, as a recording, this is how it is. Hopefully, BSG patches it quickly. For your own sake, make sure that you check on something cheap. It works on everything. We'll just do this relay real quick here. let me list this relay for like 8,000 rubles, and you'll see it'll be a little bit smaller of amount, but it wants to take 1265, which means this should be, you know, what is that? 8,800, give or take. And it only goes to 9.7. So it took out 300 rubles. So you can see that it even works on small things. So you can check for yourself for when they patch this or don't. But keep in mind that the flea market fee is not showing up correctly in your box. So this whole flea market thing, like I said, I think is just a nip and bud the other side of the RMT. Hopefully it works, because it makes it hard for anybody to really make money, like serious money right now, which I guess isn't necessarily a horrible thing, but nonetheless, the flea market is pretty tough to use. Now, to counter this, I think because BSG is doing so much that's affecting the player base in a negative way, trying to fight RMTs, I believe, and I have no proof for this is just personal experience and me talking to other people, that they've turned the loot up on all the maps. I've noticed running around the last couple of days that there is a ton more loot than there has been in the past month, even the last 2 weeks on these various maps. And I mean everything, not just high ticket items. You find more stims, you know, just more items on the ground. There's just more full of loot. Now, I've gotten this from other streamers, guys in the Discord, people that have thousands and thousands of hours. They're all kind of in agreement with this. So we could all just be crazy, but I think there's something to it. On top of that, they've also seemed to have adjusted some of the loot pools. People are finding things like intels in black weapon crates or whatever those black square boxes are that are plastic, which has never happened before. I found a LEDX yesterday in one of those orange med cases, which I've never seen anybody do before. So I think those are changes that they made on top of this other stuff to make loot more available for people, to kind of offset the bite of these other changes. So they're trying to balance on a knife's edge, stamping out RMT, but not affecting the player base too much. And it remains to be seen whether they're going to be successful at that or not. Now, before we get done, I have one last thing to bring up. Kind of a self-plug here. We've got our second album released with our music. This is my music. Company creates it for me, Low Wave Records. They ask me for input. I give them some stuff. They have a music, 20 songs created for an album, and then we put out to you guys. This is free to use on stream or in your YouTube videos if you're a content creator, and you don't have to worry about copyright strikes or DMCA takedowns. And on top of that, it's free to play, and by playing it, you support the stream. It does support me monetarily, which is super cool. So feel free to check it out, take a listen. We got 40 songs down now. We got 60 more on the way. We'll kind of filter them in 20 at a time, one album at a time. And I'll let you guys know as we get those. Link will be down in the description, along with some of the other stuff we've talked about. But with that, I think we'll wrap it up. I wish you the best of luck in your raids, and we'll see you in Tarkov.